welcome to another episode of Over the Cup podcast, a Formula One podcast for fans old and new by Formula One fans old and new. Today with me is Shakuni, Kramer, Neil, and we are talking about Silverstone.
And if you want a decode of what she said, we also have no idea. Don't ask. No one knows what she just said.
Okay,
Man,
I just
Try to understand the
before we
emotion,
begin.
not the words.
Yes, first that. Second, I just want to make something very clear. If you are not a Lewis Hamilton fan, this might be an episode you want to skip. I am going to be unabashedly Sir Lewis Hamilton simp. This entire episode, I am going to trash talk every single opponent. I am going to sing praises of Lewis Hamilton. So if this is not something that you want to hear for the next, we can literally talk about this for 2 hours. We would, but I'm just saying, it's not your cup of tea. It's okay. We have a football episode. Listen to that and then tune in from the next episode. But this episode, there's no fairness. 945 days later, Sir Lewis Hamilton finally wins his last ever Silverstone race with Mercedes. He has won. He has won after Saudi 2021. He has won after Abu Dhabi 2021. He has won. He has finally won at his home. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right.
Honestly, I don't remember us talking about Lewis Hamilton winning in this podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, since we have started recording this podcast, Hamilton has not won.
Oh my God. Yeah. Can you imagine? This podcast started in 2022. This is the first podcast episode where we're talking about Sir Lewis Hamilton's win, because he's not won since we started this podcast. This is huge, guys. This is oh my God, this is so huge. Oh fuck.
And you guys can go back and listen to us ranting about Abu Dhabi for several hours.
Yeah, we can. We really can. But
Yeah,
so
because
a
it's
couple
there.
of a couple of records. Nobody has ever won a Grand Prix after their 300th start. That's a record
Yes.
broken. Nobody has ever won at the same track 9 times. He has broken that record. Nobody has won a race 17 years after their first.
He
All
has won.
those records. Sir Lewis Hamilton, take a bow. You are back. Yes.
It was so fun. It was so fun. So fun. And that too in a race that was this thrilling. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
And more importantly, I don't know if you guys saw it. So there was some fucking video clip I saw. Somebody's talking to Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg said,
Yes, he also broke the
Nico
curse.
Ros- he
Lewis broke the Nico curse.
Lewis Hamilton broke the Nico Rosberg curse. I
Ah.
mean, okay.
That's
So-
the cherry on top.
Yeah, when I saw that video, Neil can attest to this. I dropped the biggest F-bomb. I was like, beep, beep. Why did he have to say that? Why did he have to jinx Lewis? And oh my God, so when we were watching the race, when they went from inters to slicks, I was like, oh my God. I started stressing out. It was very crucial what was going to happen over the next couple of laps. By lap 45, I started stress crying because I was like, if from here Lewis loses, it is going to be more heartbreaking than Abu Dhabi. Like, he
Yeah.
was in such a good position to win that race. And then by lap 50, by lap 50, the stress crying turned into tears of joy because I could see, I was watching it with all the data, and Max was fast, but he wasn't fast enough to cover off that 2.5-3 second lead in just 2 laps. So, okay, guys, first thoughts of yours. I've given you my first thoughts.
This race had pure roller coaster of emotions from the beginning. From lap 1, the
And
first race.
from qualification.
From
Yeah,
qualifying.
even
Yeah.
quali, yeah.
Yeah.
Even quali. It had everything perfect. And I loved that radio. It is fucking dry. I don't want to come in. Oh,
Oh
when
my
he
God.
said that, I was like, oh, okay. Sorry. He is back. He is back in his
He's
groove.
back.
Don't disturb.
He's back.
I also missed that badass radio where he said like he will handle Lando Norris.
Yeah, leave me
Yeah.
to it, mate. He said, leave me to it, mate. The only thing it could have that could have made this entire weekend better was I think Bono came on radio and he said, it's our time, Lewis. If only he had just said, it's hammer time. Oof.
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Oof. That would have been,
That undercut that Mercedes did on Norris was so good. It was executed so beautifully.
yeah.
No words, man.
Actually, it was the McLarens who first got the tires out. And I don't know why they let him like for one more lap.
Yeah, so there are a couple of things to talk about. I think none of us watched practice. I think it's fair to say none of us
Yes.
waste any more time watching practice. So we have no idea what happened in practice, but qualification. First thing I want to talk about is Sergio Perez.
Waste of seat.
Man, the thing is that I don't, can you imagine, like I just think about Albon and Gasly sitting there thinking how much more does this guy have to fuck up, because we got fired for a lot less. Gasly got half a season. This dude has been fucking it up since 2022 in like the middle part of the season, and he's still getting contract extensions. So
Albon scored points, right? Or no? He didn't. Albon.
Albon, I think he did. Yeah, this race he did. Hold on. I have he finished 9th.
In a fucking Williams.
Yeah. So Sergio Perez, I mean, apparently there are again rumors that Daniel Ricciardo will be given that Red Bull seat either mid-season or by end of season. I
Why?
don't know.
Why? It is again. See, all props to Ricardo. Great. I understand that he had car issues. He was slower than everyone. I understand everything. But I don't see him pushing for overtakes. Even when he has DRS, there is like, when the prime Ricardo, when he used to have like those late lunges and everything, like under braking, nothing. He is just like, if
But-
I can buy in
But
pure speed, then I will.
But that's the point, Shaguni. They don't want another top driver. They have that in Max Verstappen. They want somebody who is on par. They want somebody who's not starting fucking 17th or who's not starting from fucking pit lane every other race. They want somebody to be there to play the team game, but
But
not.
with someone like Norris or Leclerc or Sainz, even the Mercedes right now, Russell or Hamilton, they will be fucking gunning that second driver to get that second position on the podium.
But that
Now-
is what they need. That is what they need. They need somebody who is going to at least start in that order. Like for them, it's like even if Daniel is qualifying 5th and Max is on pole, it doesn't matter because he's in the mix. As opposed to
But-
Sergio Perez, there's no point. Like,
No,
the only
I would
thing he was
rather
able to
rather
do-
have someone like Yuki who would fight for every position, who would defend every position till the end. I would have someone like him for even see. The problem right now is not someone in the mix. The problem is they are losing points because Sergio is either on 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and whereas the McLarens are getting both the drivers on the podium, one on the podium, one on 4th or 5th. So they are getting more points. For the Constructors' Championship, they need both the drivers either on podium or close to the podium for the maximum points. Right now, Red Bull needs someone who wants to go for the podiums, not just maintain that position that they have. That is, I don't think getting Danny is
No.
the right choice.
Red Bull does not want anybody. They don't even care if the second driver is on podiums. They just need to ensure. If it does not matter, bro, it does not matter who is finishing where as long as Max is winning. And for Max to win, if they want to play the team strategy game, they need a driver who is in that mix, the top 5, top 7 mix. They need
See,
somebody like that.
You have to understand that they are 71 points ahead of Ferrari.
I
And
know that.
Ferrari, yeah. So 71 points is not a huge margin for a constructors. 3 races
that
and they
too.
can be there. Yeah,
I
so
know that
they
too.
want someone. So they want their second driver to also get the points. Max खाली 25 point लाएगा.
But that
25
is
के
what I'm
बाद
saying.
क्या?
But that is what I'm saying now. If somebody is already starting in like top 5, top 7, they are already in for the points. It doesn't matter where else they finish. Like if you're starting the race 5th, the worst you can do is 7th, 8th. And it's like it's similar to Perez.
More than Red Bull getting points. More than Red Bull getting points, they were someone to take off points from Mercedes and Ferrari.
Mercedes and Ferrari, exactly. They want somebody who is going to be in mix enough to take points away from those teams, but not challenge Max. And you can't do that with Carlos Sainz. You can't do that with Yuki Tsunoda because these drivers are still young. They still want to be in a position where they're fighting for race wins and championships. They don't want that. Also, they want Max
And
Verstappen
Daniel
to
Ricciardo
be
is happy with anything about him.
Yes. And Daniel is at a point in his career where he is like, man, if I can get a couple more race wins, well and good. I will retire on a high. I don't care. That is all he wants to do. He's quite okay playing the second fiddle to Max Verstappen. That is why any time there are such rumors, it's always Daniel and not Yuki. Also with Yuki, I 100% agree. He is having an amazing season. And if he keeps putting in such performances, of course, there will be 100% questions asked about why Yuki is not being considered and Daniel is. But the problem with Yuki is that it comes and goes. This run of form for 12 races here, I agree. Also, apparently since China, when they chased Daniel's chassis, I think Daniel from that point on till now, Daniel has actually outscored Yuki. It's just that it always looks worse because of the qualifying. Daniel has to 100% work on his qualifying. I will not say that he's putting in amazing performances in that AlphaTauri. I think what Red Bull wants to do as of right now is to have somebody like Daniel alongside Max. Let Max keep on winning and be in that position where they can do the team game and everything. In the meantime, Liam Lawson gets the AlphaTauri seat. And then if Max decides to retire, Liam Lawson takes the first driver seat, or like eventually they will, or when like Max is like abhi bahut ho gaya, in another 1-2 years I will retire, then they will also bring in somebody like Liam Lawson who can experience being in a Red Bull, and then once Max retires, then can become that driver who is going to be their first driver for championships. That is what they want. Their love affair with Daniel, man, Daniel is their golden boy. It's as simple as that. And Yuki does not have the bargaining chip now that he had previously because the Honda connection is gone. They are not dependent on Honda anymore. So
Where is Honda going? Honda is going to Aston Martin, right?
Aston Martin, yeah.
Yuki to Aston.
Yuki to Aston in 2026 is what I think, because Yuki has also only signed a 1-year contract extension, right? So
Possible.
yeah, so that is what I'm thinking. I just want, like, okay, the thing that really pisses me off, or like just really bothers me, is that they have been doing these rumors for quite a while now. That's my problem. I'm like, if you want to do it, just do it. Stop teasing us all the time. Just do it. That's all I want. So
Science, I have no idea where science is going, and it is pissing me off. First, I was excited and then I was worried, but now I'm just pissed off. Fucking tell us. I'm not even sure if he has signed anything or not.
I don't think so.
I don't think he has.
Because if he doesn't, then
I mean, Carlos, I think, is hurting himself by taking so much time. So, but I mean, I don't care, man. We're talking about Silverstone. Q2, let's talk about Ferrari and Charles. Charles got out in Q2, right?
Q2.
Yeah, that Ferrari upgrades have not worked.
Sainz was really strong in the race, though.
Yeah.
Got the fastest lap at the end.
Yeah. But Ferrari is they were like, as long as we get Charles a Monaco win, After that, we don't have to be good at
Well,
strategy.
it seems
We don't
like,
have to be good at our
yeah,
car. We don't have to
and
be
it
good at
seems like
anything
after that,
as long as, yeah,
yeah, after
Monaco,
that
Charles.
Monaco win, they're like, man, we have hit our peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can now
That's
retire.
it.
We are done for this.
This
Yeah.
Yeah,
is, it cannot get better than this. So
yeah,
they're
we
like,
will
okay.
think during break for like Lewis Hamilton and Charles.
Yeah, now we are now thinking about 2025. So Ferrari is fucked. Good luck to us Lewis Hamilton fans in the next year. But I think, man, I have to be
Adrian Newey.
no, I have to be positive. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
There are rumors that New is going to Aston
Aston.
Martin.
Yeah.
Damn. Why?
Yeah. Because Papa Stroll has a lot of money.
Yeah, they can pay, all the billionaires can pay people other than direct salary now.
Yeah. So, and then Q3, it was Mercedes 1-2, which was great. And Max was
And what a
fourth.
lap by George Russell.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was a good lap.
Yeah, but I would just request everybody to not praise anybody other than Sir Lewis Hamilton on this podcast. Please. Today we are not objective. Today we are just
No, no.
fans.
Dude, I will just praise one thing for Lando, the overtake that he did during that rain on Lewis and
Man,
George both in the
no,
same
we will
lap.
get into the race,
We
man.
will get into the
Yeah,
race
we will
later. But
eventually
like,
get there.
yeah,
Okay, all right. So
yeah. So,
we are going to talk about quali.
yeah. So Q3, Mercedes front row lockout. Max was fourth. Hulk was sixth. So back-to-back Q3 performance by Hulk. And yeah, that was it. That was all that was special.
Hulk is proving that he is a good driver again and again.
It's just, it is unfortunate that he has that curse thing, the no podium thing, because I think what Nico Hulkenberg and Haas has showed is that he can take a mediocre car and put it somewhere it does not belong. And he has done that because throughout his career, he has driven midfield cars and he has scored fabulous points. It's just
Yeah.
that his podium finishes have just not come. It has always ended up in a bottle or something. So it's unfortunate, but Audi was really, really wise to put in a driver like Hulk, like lock in that driver for them. And I am telling you this right now. This is 2024, and I have no basis in this. But next year, in that neon green dustbin of a Kick Sauber, Nico Hulkenberg will score points. In the first half of the
You
season,
called
Nico
it a
Hulkenberg.
fucking dustbin.
It is a
Man, it
dustbin,
is a
man.
dustbin. Okay.
It is a dustbin. Do you know
Yeah.
after this race, Logan Sargent is not the 21st driver in the driver championship.
It is Bottas.
It is Valtteri Bottas.
Ouch. Fall from the height, bro. Fall from
Yes.
the height.
Kick Sauber is the only team this season to not have scored a single point yet.
Hmm.
And
Williams
with
have
that
done it.
neon green
Haas.
color on it, it looks like a toxic waste dustbin.
No, it
Exactly.
looks like, do you remember like during the testing they used to have that green neon spray, like that paint thing to see where the air
Oh,
flows.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like they use that as their paint.
Yeah,
Man,
but
they must
they
have
only
tried
used
it
it
at
for
wind
aesthetics,
tunnel.
not for collecting any data.
They must have used it wind tunnel and they're like, man, this looks good. They are not wasting any money or anything. We'll just paint it.
Yeah,
Leave it as it is.
That car is like, I mean, there are rumors that Valtteri Bottas wants to go to Williams, which is
Man, he should.
crazy.
Oh man, he should leave.
Yeah, I think he needs to retire. I think it's
Yeah.
done. Valtteri,
Man,
you've
there
done.
is IndyCar, NASCAR, Le Mans.
Yeah.
Go do that, man.
No, go play ice hockey or something. Just do
Yeah.
winter sport. Like,
Go
you
catch
are a
beavers. I
finish.
mean, he is interested in
Yeah.
beavers. Go catch beavers.
Make more calendars.
Make
Yeah.
coffee, make wine. He has so many things he wants to do. Like Valtteri Bottas is so much more other than a Formula One driver. I don't know
If you
why
open
he's
his Instagram page, it's just like in his bio, he has list of companies he owns.
yeah. And like the only thing Kick Sauber is killing it in is their social media game. That's it. That's all. Their social media game is on point. They have like reels coming out and all of that jazz, but they're doing nothing. So now let's get to the race. The 52 lap,
Yeah.
amazing race that we saw. So lights out, away we go. Even before that, Gasly was like, nah, man, too much.
I'm done.
I'm
Thank
done.
you. Thank you for inviting me to Silverstone. That's
Yeah.
it from my side.
Yeah.
I want to go drink some Guinness and have an English breakfast in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think he was trying to split the G.
yeah. I think he changed an entire power unit, right? He got a new power
Yeah.
unit
Yeah.
and then did not even start.
50 place grid penalty.
Yeah. So I think he was already in the mood for Hungary. He's like, he started the race in Hungary. So, yeah. And, okay, lights out, away we go. George gets a good start. Lewis, ultimate team game, makes sure that he's second behind Russell. And then until the first shower hits, it's like, so until that first shower hits, I felt that this is going to be a very boring race because I was like, man, the weather is unpredictable. There is always a possibility that the radar says that it is going to be rain and then it doesn't come. Like it happens all the time here. Like today, I know that there is a red alert tomorrow for rain, and I'm telling you, tomorrow the sun is going to come out. Like it's happened way too many times. So there's always a
Nah,
possibility.
And in London today morning, it was very sunny.
just before the rain hit, Lando started pushing on Max. Just before the
Yeah.
first rain
Yeah,
came
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Lando,
And also that first train around that 13th lap was unexpected. It was not supposed to come at that time.
Yeah. So Kramer was at Silverstone and he was giving
Yeah.
us weather updates. And he was
And
like,
everyone was like 19th lap, 18th lap,
When did-
19th lap. They were like,
exactly.
yeah, it was
Just
around, it
one
was
lap
supposed to come
before.
around 20th lap.
Yeah.
But it was the reason it made the race even more interesting was because it was not wet enough for inters, but not dry enough to continue on slicks. So that's when we saw like Lewis overtook George and then Lando overtook Lewis.
Lewis
And there was
George.
like all of this shuffling going on between the top four. Max was far behind. Max was not even in the mix when all this was happening. And
Max
as I
was
was
feeling,
watching,
I think if you remember, like even someone was saying that this is the easiest Max has been for anyone to overtake. I think Piastri and Norris both overtook him in the rain, and everyone was
Yeah,
like,
I
this
think
is
because-
the easiest.
but I think it was also because Max knew he did not have the pace. There was no point in fighting for that place because he was like, they are going to get me either way. And
Yeah.
I think maybe he did not want to sour things even more after what happened in Austria. Maybe. I don't know.
Possible.
But
Possible
I
that
think
this is the first time we saw a good side of Max.
no, I think it's because he knew his car did not have pace. Like Red Bull did not have pace. So during that first cell of showers that came, where it was like, you just have to keep continuing on these slicks and just make sure you don't go off. Ferrari was like, nah, we're going to go for inters. We absolutely 100% will go on inters. And they pit Charles
Poor Charles.
for inters. And they were like, everybody laughed at us in Canada because we put on slicks when it was wet. You know what? This time we give people something new. We will put on rain tires when it is dry, when it is not needed. All you have to do is keep the car on track. So some of that is happening. And then I think when that around lap 20-ish, when that...
Didn't Checo get inters?
Yeah, Checo also
Checo
got
and
inters.
Charles both.
Charles both got inters. And also, even before that, so this is again proof that Kick Sauber is not in this to play. Like, I think Zoe started on softs and he had to pit. So he, just before the rain hit, he pitted for mediums.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I'm like, bro, you're already like 16, 17. Just it's not going to make. But why make that extra pit stop when you know that it's coming for inters? I don't get it. But anyways, who cares about Kick Sauber? And then the showers hit, and then it was pit stop galore. And when I was watching, when George was ahead of Lewis, I was like, man, Mercedes will have to double stack, and it is going to fuck up Lewis's strategy because they are either going to keep him out for an extra lap, which is what McLaren did, or they're going to double stack, but they didn't have enough of a gap to
Hmm.
make sure that
Manage it.
to be able to manage it. But then Lewis overtook George, and even when both the McLarens were ahead, before the rain actually came down, Lewis was ahead George. So everybody comes in for the pits for inters, and here is where McLaren. Yeah, here is where I think McLaren only thinks that they are running one car. One car in
Yeah.
because
I think they forgot. They forgot Piastri. They really forgot
really
that
forgot.
Piastri was outside.
because okay, I get it. Okay, I think Piastri was like 0.7 seconds behind Norris. So they might have seen that as, oh my God, Oscar will have to wait. Okay. Oscar would have had to wait for the duration of a pit stop, which is 2-3 seconds. But by making him do an extra lap on slicks on a completely wet track, he lost so much time in that lap. Like, Lando
Mhm.
came out of the pits,
Yeah.
almost caught up to Oscar before Oscar could even enter the pit lane. He almost caught up to, like, Oscar lost so much time. It totally fucked his race. And the thing is that here is why I think that there is a chance that Red Bull might just also take away the constructors, is because McLaren keeps doing these stupid strategy calls. Does not make sense to me. They have had the fastest car for the last couple of races and they have not won, barring Austria, which is like that contact happened and then that totally fucked up Norris's race. But barring that, I think the McLaren should have had more wins, is all I'm going to say.
True. I think McLaren is going to get a couple more wins, and I won't be surprised if Piastri gets his first.
Yeah. But like, I think McLaren is so used to being that just touching Formula One, but far away enough from Formula 1.5. They are still in that mentality, because when you look at their strategy calls, they're still like the kind of strategy calls that, like, midfield team does when there are conditions like this, where they're like, if we do something different other than what everybody else is doing, maybe by a stroke of luck, we will score some extra points or gain some more positions. Like Haas in Canada with the wets. Where Kevin Magnussen was just booming. Yeah. So, but like McLaren strategy calls seem like that. And like McLaren needs to come to the mentality that they are now a championship contending team. And they need to take advantage of the fact that Max is alone. Unless Perez does a proper qualifying, Max is alone. Like, even if Perez reaches Q3, he is like P6, 7, somewhere around that range, while Norris and Piastri are pretty much in the top 5 somewhere. So like they are in a position where if they properly make sure that their strategies are good enough, where Max alone with not a teammate to support, to play the strategy game, to play the team game, they should be having much, much more success than Max Verstappen. I think Lando Norris could have won a couple more races, but they have just not been very good with their calls. So That is something that I think McLaren needs to work on. But then, okay, Inter's on, and now it's time to go for slicks. And Lewis comes in for softs. He puts on softs. And McLaren decide to let Norris do one more lap, which again, I don't know why. But then, why are they asking their drivers to pick the compound?
I think Norris also said that I want to go to mediums, right? I think Norris
Yeah,
requested
and
mediums.
yeah. So because the thing is that I was, by that time I was so into like, oh my God, Lewis could actually win this, that I couldn't comprehend if it was Oscar or Norris who said that they wanted mediums, because they put on mediums for Oscar, but they put on new softs for Norris, despite Norris having a fresh new set of mediums.
Hmm.
He had a fresh set. Bro, he had a fresh set. And that McLaren, like even in the first stint, that McLaren was lighting up on those mediums. Like they
Yeah.
had way more pace than the Mercedes on mediums. So if Norris had put on mediums, he would have won the race. But because they put on softs and Max put on hards, Max ended up finishing second. Like Lando couldn't do anything
I
at all.
feel bad for Lando, but so props to Max. He took that second position out of nothing. I mean, again,
Yeah.
car and everything given. I agree 100% that he has a beast of a car, but he was nowhere matching the pace before the rain. But
Yeah.
then just suddenly turning it on and just getting that second position is beautiful. And he was very good.
Yeah, and the thing is that this is where like the reason for team success is because like this strategy call. Like
Mm.
most teams would have thought that we'll either go on soft or mediums for like some 10 something 10 12ish laps left. Most teams would have been like softs or mediums. It was a choice between those because they're not going to fall off. It's not that big a deal. It's only 12 laps, blah blah blah, whatever. Hannah Schmidt is like, you know what? Max can still even get the win. I'm telling you, if he had gone past Lando 2 or 3 laps before when he did,
He would have won.
won. He would have won the race. So
I
Hannah
agree.
Schmidt is like, man, the fuel load is less. A car would be faster. Max needs a tire where he does not need to worry. He does not need to nurse it. He does not. He can literally take the life out of those tires. And so, you know what? We are going to put a set of hearts and let Max be Max. And so, like, destroy these tires for all we care. Just go for it.
Mm.
And that is where decisions like these are, because Max, they know what Max can do. They have to just make sure that they give him an opportunity to do it, which is what McLaren failed to do with Lando and Piastri this weekend.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of lessons that McLaren needs to take from this. I'm now excited for Hungary. I was also
bad luck to George. Bad luck to George. He was
I
doing
was
really
so
good.
excited. Dude, it was like a mini heart attack to me when they called him in, and I was like, oh my God, are you shafting Lewis one more time? Like, what the fuck? Like, I get it, but like Lewis overtook George, like favored the strategy for him. But when Toto said, or like when his engineer said, George, come in, we are going to retire the car, I was like, what?
Oh, that was such a shocker, no?
But I was so happy because then I was like, all of Mercedes' efforts are going to go in supporting Lewis. I was so happy. I'm sorry. It might make me a horrible person, but just for one race weekend, I don't care. Call me all sorts of names. I don't care. I was very happy. I'm glad that George did not crash or anything, and that led to a DNF. But he retired. I was so happy. I was like, okay, their entire focus is now going to be on Lewis. Lewis is the only car that can score points. And man, that literally those last couple of laps, I was like literally looking at the lap times and sector times of the top three, because it was literally it was not anyone's race. It was between Lewis and Max. It was very clear that Lando does not have the pace. If it was mediums, then it would have been anyone's race.
It was a good race. Felt really
Man,
good.
it was an awesome race.
Yeah.
It was better than Canada.
It was like exciting from start to finish.
I think the starting 10-ish laps were a little bit after like the initial 4-5 laps when everybody's close and everything. Then a lot of teams and then like I think almost everybody except for the people who started on softs, everybody went into tire management because they had to last those tires until they actually needed
They were
inters.
settling into the positions.
Yeah. So that part was like a little bit, and because it's the start of the race and the weather, the track is so amazing, has always produced amazing races and everything. So like that initially you're like, is this going to be a boring race? But I think it delivered. After lap 13, it was just chaos after chaos after chaos.
And it did not like even give us some time to recuperate.
Yeah, race is exciting when broadcaster doesn't cut the cameras to 8, 9, 10 position cars randomly.
Yeah.
They don't show Lance Stroll.
And that was the case for like past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
How
They
the
just
hell
gave up
did
on.
Stroll finish above Alonso? What the fuck was Alonso doing?
But man, I literally like this race was so exciting that I have no idea what happened after position 4. Like I have no idea what everybody else was up to. I literally have, there were 18 drivers on track and I had no idea what 14 were doing at any point of time. Since the
Hmm.
rain
I was
started,
at
I had,
track and none of them were watching Alonso or anyone.
yeah,
Everyone was like front four.
front 4.
But the
Yeah.
front four gave us such amazing performance. It was
Man, even
exceptional.
Sainz, front 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carlos,
Sainz also, yeah. That man only had to defend. Like he did not have race pace. He did not have
but again,
anything.
Shakuni, see, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. This is what Red Bull needs. Like, even if it is somebody like Ricardo, because Carlos qualified what, 6th, I think, 5th or 6th only. Like he was in that range.
Qualified fifth and finished fifth.
Finished 5th. They just need somebody like that. They want somebody who is in that mix. They don't want somebody who has to like start from 16, 17 and make a place. And the thing is that Perez is not even doing that. You remember in Spa when Max started P20 and by lap 4 he was leading the race. Like it's not even like Perez is doing that.
No, my point is not that. My point is if, for example, Perez was in 5th, or even let's say Ricardo is in 5th. Ricardo has a beast of a Red Bull in his hand, and he does not overtake anyone and finishes 5th by starting 5th.
He
That
doesn't
is not
have
what
to.
I want.
But he doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's
That
what
is what
Red
I'm
Bull
saying.
wants.
That is what Red Bull wants. And I mean, again, the thing is that maybe, see, the thing is that the Red Bull pace advantage, maybe till last year it was there. Right now, they know that their competitors are going to like have a very close competition. Very close competition. All they need is whenever they are. So what they want to do is what Mercedes used to do with Bottas, right? They need Ricardo to be out or Perez to be out and just defend their like their competition so that Max can catch up. They want to do exactly what they did in Abu Dhabi 2021. That's what they want Perez to do. But Perez is not in the mix. They don't want another driver who can challenge for wins. They don't
Perez
want
is
that kind
fighting
of tension.
Tsunoda's Ricardo.
He's fighting Haas's. He's fighting like Nico Hülkenberg has scored more points than Sergio Perez in the last 4 races.
Actually, I think more than Leclerc also.
Yeah. So that is what Red Bull wants. They cannot deploy a strategy. They cannot deploy the second driver to help Max if the second driver is not in the mix with their competition. And Yuki, I think he has been phenomenal, but like it's no secret we are not the biggest Yuki fans. But I'm just saying, like with Yuki, first of all, his temper, I don't, not a fan. He used the R word, I think, a couple, like it was last race weekend or something. But I'm like, just it's not cute anymore for me. They already have somebody with a temper in Red Bull. They need a calming force, and that's Ricardo. That's it. That is all. I think that if Red Bull wants to do the switch, they should do it as soon as possible. They should. Right now, they are lucky that McLaren is fucking up their strategies. Once McLaren does Hannah Schmidt F1 strategy 101 class, masterclass, they are fucked. That's all they
And
need
also,
to
I
do.
think Kimi Antonelli is very close to signing to Mercedes after that
Yeah.
F2 win.
Yeah, after that F2 win, right? Could be.
And you could see that happiness in Toto's face.
Yeah, he went to hug him and he did everything.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch the F2 race. But yeah, I just think that the upcoming races are going to be more exciting. I think that the battle between McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull is going to be very, very fun to watch. I hope that Ferrari can join the battle as well, and then it will be oh so amazing. And I think that mathematically the championship is still on, both the championships. I know Lando is very far behind Max, but it's not an unassailable lead for Lando.
Yeah, it's not like
It's 84 points.
all
You
it
know,
takes
if
is
you
couple of DNFs.
all it takes a couple of DNFs, yes, but also if you see hypothetically, if Red Bull does not have, like in Silverstone, okay, Silverstone, McLaren fucked up the strategy for both their drivers. If they had not done that, realistically, Lando is winning the race and Piastri is either finishing second or third. So they come away with most points. So that gives them an edge in the constructors. That also gives Lando an edge in what do you say? An edge in the drivers. Okay, Max realistically can finish third because he was on hards. So yes, he can finish third. That's still what, a 10-point advantage over Max, and the championship lead comes down. And if this keeps happening, and you have to remember, like Russell was not in the race, otherwise Russell would also have been in the mix. Carlos was also in the mix. It's just that the Ferrari did not have enough pace and they were just happy to be finishing 10 finishing with 10 points. So like if this is the kind of competition and Red Bull is not the strongest car on that particular circuit, there is a chance that if Lando wins and Max is finishing 5th or 6th, that is a huge point swing in favor of Lando. And so like mathematically, the championship remains open, is what I'm saying. So, McLaren, get your shit together. Answered Lewis Hamilton, congratulations. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I cried. I literally cried. I will now give the mic to Neil to describe to you what I was going through.
A lot of screaming, crying, jumping. That was, and dancing.
What a race. What a way
Beautiful.
to get a 104th win. What a way to do it after so long in front of their home crowd. It's just amazing. It's all sorts of amazing. And what a way to give us a proper F1 episode. Like, I don't think we've had such a good F1 only episode since Canada. Yeah. Might have done, like, we've done only F1 and football together. We've not done a standalone F1 episode in a while.
When there were episodes where we ignored F1.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
Monaco.
But like, man, we don't want to talk about F1 this weekend.
But yeah, that's it. That's it from this episode. For Prediction
Thank you,
League,
everyone.
this week we all predicted Max to win, but we are all happy we did not get points.
No, I think I predicted Lando.
Yeah. I mean, but you still did not get points for Lando
Yeah,
win.
I know,
Lando did
but I
not
was
win.
just saying. I think I
Yeah, we
predicted
all
that.
predicted Max Orlando. So, but right now Neil is still leading with 44 points. I'm second with 37. Kramer, you have 31. Shakuni is at 29 and Honey Badger is on 26. So the gap is closing up at the top. I was so close to predicting Lewis as the winner. I wish I had done that. I wish you all, would have endured your taunts and then laughed in your faces.
Also, my Max Verstappen curse continues. Whenever I
Which
am
is,
at the GP, Max doesn't win.
man, can you just go to all the races? Just find a way to go to all the races, man.
When you predict or when you are at the race?
At the race.
Okay.
Can you just go to all the races? Can you go to Hungary?
No,
Go to
I wish
Hungary.
I could have.
Go to
Wish I
Spa.
could have.
Go to Monza.
Yeah, go to Monza.
No, I'm saying go to all of them. I'm just
Yeah. Just
telling them.
listing it them one by one.
Oh, if you can't go anywhere, just go to Zandvoort. I think it'll be hilarious. Just go
If
to
Max
Zandvoort.
loses. And I want McLaren to win in Zandvoort.
Yeah.
So that Norris can finally say that, is this crowd for me? Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's orange. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care even if it is Piastri who wins. Like either.
Yeah,
Either
any
is fine.
orange,
One
any
of the
orange.
Any
McLarens.
orange is fine. Yeah. So, but the championship is close, man. Second onwards, I think Lando is 21 points ahead of Charles. And Carlos is 4 points behind Charles. Oscar is at 124. Sergio Perez is at 118. George Russell is at 111. Lewis Hamilton at 110. Right?
Ooh.
That is insane. So this is still anyone's championship, and I think even in teams it is very close. Ferrari is at 302 points. Red Bull is at 373.
Yeah.
And McLaren is 7 points behind Ferrari in constructors.
But for a second, I thought like McLaren would have overtaken Ferrari this week.
You would think, right? The
Yeah.
way Ferrari has been fucking up and how strong McLaren are, but this is how much, like, if McLaren loses out that second position in the constructors, they are going to look back at these really stupid decisions that they took during this. And even like Mercedes is at 221, so that's like what, 74 points behind McLaren. So it's not that much. And might I remind you, it is back-to-back Mercedes victories. Austria
Yes.
was George Russell, and Silverstone was Sir Lewis Hamilton. He won. He finally won.
So in last three races, McLaren hasn't like took the points in bulk.
Yeah, McLaren, I think with the way the cars are right now and the team performances and the driver lineups, McLaren should be getting the bulk of points every single race weekend.
Yeah, in Spain, I think Piastri finished down. In Austria, Lando.
Lando DNF'd, and then here they gave away a 1-2 or a 1-3. They gave it away. So, and I think if McLaren continue this, they are going to become the new Ferrari meme. Remember the pit crew meme that we used to see
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Ferrari in 2022? I've already started seeing those memes. Like
With
McLaren,
Binotto.
yeah, McLaren decisions have been very, very questionable. So, it is literally, even right now, it is anyone's game. There are we are halfway through the season because this is 12th race.
Yeah.
So we have 24. We are halfway through the season and it is close.
And upcoming races are actually exciting.
Yeah, and exactly. So like you have some really good tracks. Hungary, Belgium, then Zandvoort, then Monza,
Baku,
and
Singapore.
hold on.
Yeah, after Baku,
Yeah.
Singapore.
Baku, Singapore, Austin,
Vegas.
Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. With the exception of, I would say, Qatar, and to an extent, I would say Mexico is a dicey track, and Abu Dhabi is always boring. With the exception of these 2-3 races, I think every single one has the potential to be a banger if
Hmm.
the trajectory of the teams
Teams is the
continue the
same.
same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is still anybody's season. So let's see what happens.
Hopefully, no rain in Belgium.
As long as it is changeable conditions like this is the
Yeah.
proper, like, as long as it's not the 2021 flood.
Yeah.
Just that's it. But do you think that what happened? So, like, Haas putting on the wets in Canada, do you think that has swayed FIA enough where they will let drivers race with wets if it is slightly more rain?
I think they would have let them race this race also. Like if the rain would have increased, they would still be out. But I am still not sure because some of the tracks, I don't think they would take the risk
Man,
because they
who
know.
would have thought K-Mag would have been a positive change in Formula One?
Still haven't seen that change. But I think but I would also say that, like, the 2021 Spa, and even there was one Suzuka race also, right?
Yeah,
Which
last
was
year.
like last year, very red flagged and everything.
Return of
So
Japan.
yeah, they were like apocalyptic rain showers. They were not normal showers. And I think on both of these tracks, there is not like a good enough system where, like, the water keeps
No,
getting accumulated on the track. Like, it does
the
not
puddles
drain
and
out.
everything is like a very
Yeah.
prominent thing in these tracks.
Yeah.
The
So
but the problem
it
is like in tracks like these, even if FIA forgets that, the wet tires and everything, and they let the race happen, it is a little scary for us as, viewers, because when you see those
yeah,
rain showers and everything, it becomes very scary for us to just comprehend how or what is happening with the drivers on the track.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, so to be fair, now that I think about it, in the last decade, all the fatalities that we've seen in Formula One have happened in those two tracks only. So I would say that if if it rains that way, please red flag the race, FIA. We are sorry for questioning you. Please red flag the race if it is like too bad. Just to 100%. Just don't do the procession that happened in 2021. But yes, please, for the love of God, red flag the race. Yeah.
because we
Uh,
also know that FIA does not have the adequate safety measures when it
yeah.
comes to things like these. Like there could be anything on the track at any point, like
Yeah.
a fucking
There is
tractor.
no consistency in safety. Either
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
extremely cautious, like over
Yeah,
cautious.
either they are Gareth Southgate
Yeah.
or they are daredevils.
Yeah.
There
Or
is no
like
in
Marcelo
between.
Bielsa.
Yeah.
No,
So
like
there
that
is no in between.
that guy who scored like 8-2 against us and still did not smile. I forgot. Hansi Flick, our new manager.
Yeah. So
Back to Formula One, man.
yeah, back to Formula One. So yeah, if it is a very crazy shower, yes, by all means, please red flag the race, especially because that Eau Rouge and everything, like, you are carrying so much speed after turn 1 into 2, 3, 4, that slight bend, and then it's
Yeah.
till turn 4, 5, it's you're carrying so much speed. I think I remember 2021 when it was raining in qualifying. Lando had a very scary crash.
Yes,
So
when Vettel stopped and asked, like,
Vettel stopped and asked if he was okay. So yeah, 100%, man. I think Spa, I would say, just don't rain. Just it's okay. We can just have clouds. Just have clouds so that the track temperature is a little bit calmer, and then just rain when it is time for podium celebration, so that people should not need to spray champagne to get wet. That time it
Yeah.
is fine. Don't
Everyone should be
rain.
wet.
Yeah, don't rain. No rain during the race. I think Spa is one circuit where I'm like, Spa does not need rain to make it interesting. It's a good track. I love that track. So cool. Anything else? Any more tangents that we have to go on?
Nah, I think we are all done in Formula One also.
Yeah. So I think Hungary is on the next to next weekend. So 21st
Hmm.
of July, right?
Yeah.
So okay, that's a good thing. So we have plenty of time to watch Euros, finish Euros, and then we can go back to our regular scheduled programming of Formula One.
Hmm.
Cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and thank you everybody for listening. Until the Euro semifinals, we will see you then. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye.